It says I'm live. Well, hello, Crime Stoppers. Wow, the light's really bad. There's the light behind instead of in front. But oh well. Um, I think it'll work out nicely. So, over 500 views on that other video. I'm supposed to have 1,700. This animal right here, I'm not used to having. He's friendly. His name is Moke. This is the one I was telling you that was attacking my ankles, and he tries to be friendly about it, but he doesn't understand the fact that clops rip up humans. So if you're wearing shorts like I am right now, that can be problematic because he just wants to be saying hi and get some petting. That's the way he gets his attention. If you're wearing jeans and boots, no big deal. But when you're wearing shorts and slippers, it is a problem. All right, stop it and go away. All right, anyway, so let's talk about this. I did not realize, even at this late date, that they don't have oaths of office. And if you notice, I'll put the link below. I went into court and testing out those 12 presumptions. Turns out that they don't have much of nothing. They got no foreign agent registration statements. So I'm going to let the Department of Justice know, hey, we got these unregistered foreign agents who don't have anti-bribery statements, who don't even have oaths of office, who are holding private sessions and courts. Do you think they know about it? I'm pretty sure they know about it, but they don't care. But I'm going to let them know anyway, because I think the wheel is turning here. And there's a lot of things I want to talk about that I can't talk about because of where I am, which makes people think, oh, you might be a shill because, all the good guys got kicked off. It's true. All the good guys did get kicked off, but I'm going to give you some information. First off, those 87,000 IRS agents, they might not be your enemies. They might be your friends if you know what forms to file. So let's get this form out. Did I not just? I just put it out here. We're outside in the wind, so I don't want stuff to blow away. Yes, there it is. I just got to get to it. All right. Let's learn about this form. It's a super simple form. This is form 15227, as the title of the video says. So it's the first thing I was going to talk about. All you got to do, name, address, phone number, and they'll give you a PIN. Why do you want a PIN? You want a PIN so you can lock your account so the pirates can't get into your account without a PIN. Traffic tickets, any kind of charge that they're going to give you, like they gave me, my charge was custodial interference, which is a Class C felony. But I'm not a U.S. citizen. I'm an American national. First off, and they've never rebutted that, and I put that in the court numerous times. That's an unrebutted affidavit. So by now, I should be considered a U.S. national by them. Not an employee of state of Hawaii, not an employee of the courts, not an employee of County of Maui. And those are all caps names that have DUNS numbers. Anyhow, fill this thing out, and they'll give you a letter, and you call in, and you get your PIN number. That PIN locks your account. That way, the pirates can't raid your account. And see, what they need and what they're doing is the judge, who's the executor de son tort of your estate. They're executing your estate without contract or consent because they consider you an idiot infant. No matter how old you are, you're still an infant, especially if you have a lawyer that's speaking for you. But that judge, now the prosecuting attorney, is become beneficiary of your estate. He's your beneficiary. When did you make him beneficiary? What, did you make him beneficiary? Oh no, they just assumed that they're beneficiary, and they made you trustee. So the judge, the prosecutor, and either the public defender or whatever lawyer you have are all in on it together, raiding your estate, taking money out of your trust accounts. So use this form to help with them down because they're going to need a PIN number to get into it. Simple form. Just on the internet, you can look up form 15227 and download it, fill it out, and in a couple of weeks, they send you back information about how to put your PIN. Now, you'll notice, I saw this perfect stone that was smooth on the road, and I thought I should pick that up, and it would be a great paperweight. And I didn't do it. All right, now, because it's a little breezy out here, but listen to the last one, and it you couldn't tell, you couldn't hear the wind. All right. So this is forms for a W-4 sandwich. I'll leave you a video about a W-4 sandwich. Super easy to fill out. I filled this out incorrectly because read the forms. If you read the form, right there on the form, it says, I scratched out my social security number for this because I screwed up on these because I put my middle name instead of just my middle initial, because it says right there, does your name match the name on your social security card? Why, no, it didn't. So I should probably put it the way on my social security card, it says Ben H, not Ben Hosea. So I put Ben Hosea on all these forms, and right there it tells me don't. So whatever's on your social security card, not on your birth certificate, on your social security card, because on my birth certificate, it's of course my full name. It doesn't say Ben H on my birth certificate. But on your social security card, if it says your full name, then put your full name. Whatever it says on your social security card is how you fill this out. So each one of these, A says name and middle initial, and I didn't put middle initial, but if you, on your social security card, it doesn't have your middle initial, it has your full name, put your full name on so that it matches. Okay, don't forget to write exempt over here, and right there. I put things in yellow so they can't miss it because I just put C cover and my numbers are estimates, right? Good faith. I don't know what numbers to put. So if the numbers aren't correct, correct them is what I put in my cover letter. And you can put, I just put the judiciary courts of the state of Hawaii here with the DUNS number because I didn't know the EIN number. But you can put the judge's name. You can put the clerk's name. You can put the prosecuting attorney's name. You can put, and then ding them for $250,000. I'll put a video down below that talks more about it. But here is the form. All right. So, and also, here is the 1040 form. And I would, if I was you, I'd set up a Treasury Direct account. But here's the 1040 form. And right on here, if you use your form 5227, it shows you, and I can't because I don't have it yet. There's where you can put your, because even these guys, the IRS won't be able to get into your account if you have a PIN. So they want your PIN, especially if you're going to ask for a refund. And I put over here, and make sure you check the box, checkings or savings. So if you want a direct deposit, for those of you guys that are still playing this game, there it is, right? Okay, so if you want them to put the money in, well, you're going to have to give them your PIN number. If the courts don't have your PIN number, they can't play with your account. So get a PIN number, 5227, post haste. That should be worth some Patreon. That should be worth a PayPal of $1. Oh, and by the way, thanks for everybody that last time sent Patreon and PayPal, and I got a $10 Patreon. That's awesome. I mean, that's a lot. That's $120 a year. Maybe you want to back it off to $5. But I mean, if 500 people all did like $1, I would be able to fight this battle easily. So you put this, and like I said, I'll have a video down there. Your 1040, so they know where to put the money. Notice it's not signed. And notice I put C cover letter, right? W4C. All you do is put the date in, though. Make sure you put the date there. But don't sign it. Then this one, the W4, hence the name W4 sandwich. Make sure you just fill it out correctly. And some people leave it blank. Some people X this part off. I put done in good faith. And then I put by Ben Hosea Rogers, the beneficiary, because I'm the beneficiary of this thing, not the prosecuting attorney, nobody else but me. They set this thing up for okay, you are the beneficiary and equitable title holder. You have usufruct. You do not own the account. You didn't set up the account. It's not yours. So you're the beneficial title holder. What's the title? The birth certificate is the title. Your birth certificate. That's the title. They can't get a birth certificate. They can't order a birth certificate. Ask them if they have a title to your account. They don't. They make it up. They pretend. They presume, but they don't have. They're not able to get your birth certificate. Oh, and by the way, hit like, please. I had 500 people watch the other video, plus more than 500 people, and only like 47 or 48 likes. So please hit the like button. More people need to find out this information. You know, the minor details that they don't have oaths, they don't have bonds, they don't have foreign agent registration statements, they don't have, especially judges, they don't have the anti-bribery statements that they're supposed to have. And you don't ask. So they don't tell you. You don't ask, you know, don't ask, don't tell. They don't have to. Hey. Yes, it sure was, wasn't it? That's the idea. They booted me out of court. And see, everything, this is the first day of September 2022. 1 year ago tomorrow, I got on a plane to go to Arizona and start a new life. And they came and have screwed everything up. So if they think that they just, everything's going to be forgotten, they have another thing coming. And we'll get to that in just a moment. All right, let's put this over here. So it doesn't blow away. Now, here is the important part of the W4 sandwich. So first is the W4. Then there's the 1040. And then here's this. And I'm going to cover it because I'm going to use this again. All right, you need a 2-cent stamp. You can get these at the post office. Sheet of 20 of them cost you 40 cents. Right? Okay, the numbers underneath my fingers, that's the number. That's your Social Security number without dashes and the number from the back of your Social Security card. Notice mine starts with a D. All right. So then you put the date. Oh, sign your name through it. Cancel the stamp. Make the document worth something. And then pay to the U.S. Treasury and charge same to. And see, I put the 2 names. And now I just put Ben H. Rogers because that's the name on the card that these numbers on the top of the page. Ben Hosea isn't on there. Ben H. Rogers, my allegiance is. So I want my allegiance paid. So I use this voucher. And I didn't separate it. I left the whole thing, but I cut it all the way till the end. So all they have to do is go chink and rip it off. Make it easy for them as possible. And on this, all it is, the name, I'll put my thumb over that. Name, Social Security number, and see, I got to change that. I'm waiting to get some white out, and I'm just going to make that Ben H instead of Ben Hosea. And I'm trying to balance everything, and cat's bothering me. Yeah, it's live, but it's pretty simple. Name, address, and they don't leave any room for you to put your address in there, is of course on those forms, but pretty simple to fill out. Okay, so those things, it takes you a little while to fill it out, and the thing that takes the longest is finding the EIN numbers. But I will put a link down below to the EIN number lookup, and it'll make it easy for you to look up their EIN numbers. Whose EIN numbers are going to, if you got any banks that you've dealt with, credit cards, any of that kind of stuff, guess what? They never give you nothing. What they did was get your signature and take money out of your trust account and then kick the national debt up because they pull money out of your trust account. All right, I read this whole document to you last time. And notice, they didn't notice. Let's find one that's cool. All right, see? On the back, they copied the back. They made this single-sided, and they've been sending me documents that are all double-sided, but they did a single-sided copy, so it's nice and thick. Right there is my thumbprint with my name that says copyright, copy claim. Don't copy this document. They copied it anyway. Like, in your face, what are you going to do about it? Well, let's see what we're going to do about it. And you'll see that I put stamps on the back of all my documents. So 27 pages, that means I had to sign that thing 27 times and put the date. And I did it 3 times, right? So I sent it to him once. I sent it to him a second time. I sent it to him a third time. Further, because I know my postmaster isn't going to do dork because he's a postmaster on Maui and he doesn't have any idea how powerful his position actually is, just like the notaries. So what I did, so I can get the UPU involved, is I put this happy stamp right here on my documents, particularly since I mentioned the International Compact on Civil and Political Rights. So that is an international stamp. See that? So that puts the UPU into, right, the Universal Postal System. It's international, so not just a stamp. And so you should put a dollar stamp on your documents because it gives your documents weight. And then, because you're acting as a private postmaster, send it in because, okay, there's 2 things. I told you, they split the world in half. There's the post office And then there's United States Postal Service, right? So the post office does actual post, and post is 3 cents still. So there are my 3-cent stamps. But because you're sending this to a quasi-military organization in your courts, they're doing admiralty and maritime law, you need to have the amount of postage for mail. Okay, and go look up the difference between mail and post. There is a difference. So they wear 2 hats there at the post office, and most employees have no idea. All right, so this is enough to give my documents value. And when I sent it through the mail, not the post, I sent it certified. And then there's this thing called the mailbox rule. And it cost me $10.85 to send this via the mail to the courts. And once it's dropped in the mail, when you drop it in the mail is considered that it has been filed. Okay, because the Postal Service is in on it. Simple as that. So this was sent from the Wailuku Post Office to the Wailuku Courthouse. Cost $10.85 to have a man pick this thing up and carry it over to the clerk of the court. And then, oh, look, it has been stamped. And you can look this case up if you have the information. They stuck it in there. All right, so all of this, all right, my deposition, which is evidence, and Exhibit A. And on my document, the original document, this is, it didn't show up, but this is Exhibit A all in yellow, and I put it all on there. So the whole document is Exhibit A, instead of having a whole bunch of exhibits. But Exhibit A has a bunch of exhibits in it also, such as the, I was looking, it didn't show up here either. What is this? This is, oh, this is conspiracy against rights. And so 18 USC 241. I just gave them the law. And it's all in yellow and red that basically don't say anything. Basically, we have evidence here of violation of 18 USC 1001 and also 18 USC 1342, fictitious name and address. That's not his real name, and that's not the address. All right. So right off the bat, this document needs correcting. And you'll notice, if you go take a look at some of these places, your mortgage has many clerical errors. They're just clerical errors. They just made a mistake. They didn't mean to. So I'm sure he didn't mean to make these errors. He's not being fraudulent or anything. So just stop and correct it. Well, so far I haven't gotten a correction. And I have now received other documents in the mail from them. But again, stamps, hugely important. And you'll see the stamps, they keep track of how many times you sent a certain document. So I sent this to them once. I sent this to them again, and then I sent it to them again as an exhibit. Some of these documents have 3. Some of them are original. I only sent it to them once. So that was the one on August 19th. The other one that had 3 on there was August 19th, August 5th, and July 22nd. All right, so the stamps keep track. Because one of the things, I now have a respect for clerks because and accountants who keep track of paper, because keeping track of the paper in this, and this is just a little thing, is a big damn deal. All right. Also, once again, I asked them nicely using a Freedom of Information Act request. And let's put this over here so it doesn't. Hey, got a kitty cat being curious. All right. Curiosity is a sign of intelligence. Okay, so here's this one, which is just a letter talking about how I need to. So there's a difference. Pro se is you represent self, which is ridiculous. You have a fool for an attorney. But again, all the same things, where they don't give the right address, where he puts his, doesn't put his the name that's registered with the Bar Association, where he doesn't put the right number, the zeros are missing, all this stuff, and send it through the mail. This is a gift from God. So I'm going to mark this one up and send it back to them and say, hey, you need to correct this. And it's also going to be evidence later on in court that they're violating 18 USC. And again, all those sexy 18 USC deprivation of rights under color of law and so forth, that's all well and fine, but the IRS is the easiest, fastest, bestest way to go. So let me show you. Oh, let me also show you. There's that. Did I not? I put that in here. I know I just did. All right, hold on a second. Yes. All right. So here, I should break this apart, is my Freedom of Information Act request asking them for, and actually this is under the Hawaii Open Records Law at section 91-1, but it's also 5 USC 552 is Freedom of Information Act. So they're supposed to answer within 10 days. I had to send this to them twice. So I sent this to the Attorney General. There it is once on August 4th. There it is the second time it was delivered, and I got to write down the date that it was delivered. You put this number in the lookup for delivery. So it got there, and they finally sent it back. But the first time I sent it was July 22nd. They received it on August 4th. These guys received it on August 1st. These guys have never responded to me. And who are these guys? The administrative director of the courts. It seems to me they should know if the administrative director should know if the judges have foreign agent registration statements, have their anti-bribery statements up to snuff, should be able to tell me about agency agreements. There should be an agency agreement between me and whoever it is that supposedly they put there to represent me in front of the court, because, again, they need that third signature. They are administering your trust estate account for you. And that's your all caps name, comma, estate. All right. So they're trying to conflate you with a dead thing, which is why if you walk in there, before I would give them my name, I just asked them, is this a court of public record? Should have been a yes or no answer. State your name. Yes or no question. Is this a court of public record? And while they were fooling around, you can hear me say, and I should have been in a more bold voice, but I didn't want to be in contempt of court. But hey, got a foreign agent registration for me? Hey, how about a oath of office? Just an oath of office. If you don't have an oath of office, so obviously they're conducting private business. It's not public business. You're not in a public court of law. You're in a private bar guild ceremony that you don't understand. Literally, look up what the word understand means. You overstand them because technically you are the executor of that estate. They won't recognize you. So they are executor de son tort. And they take over your estate for you, take money out of the account, pay themselves handsomely for doing business for you. And notice how he said, you have no business here, right? Didn't say you don't belong here. Didn't say, right? He said, you have no business. I'll put the link below if you want to watch me get kicked out of court. That's, I think that's the third time I've been kicked out of court. All right. But here, I just asked, hey, got some oaths of office, got an insurance or surety bond? How about your foreign agent registration statement? And that's 22 USC, FARA, 1938, right? Foreign Agent Registration Act. Anti-bribery statements, that's 15 USC, FCPA, Foreign Corrupt Procedures Act or something. I got to look that up. I should know that one by heart by now. Let's see here. Certificate of Participation, 17 CFR 2040. That 17 CFR 2040.15C2-12. And then a certified warrant for committal with signature and seal. The certified warrant for committal, that would be called your arrest warrant. You're supposed to have a witness with a affidavit that supports the arrest warrant. Never seen one of those because they don't have one of those. Therefore, the writ of habeas corpus, it should come in because they have violated Article 6, or well, it's not Article 6, it's the Sixth Amendment of the Constitution, which right to speedy trial, 180 days by their screwed up count ends on Saturday. My next court date is on the 8th. So they've gone past the 180 days and we've had no trial. They've just been draining my account and draining me as much as they can over this since March. Okay, I expected this thing to be over a lot faster. Obviously not. And I didn't realize, again, they don't have, it just blows my mind. They don't even have oaths of office. Most of the judges, like some of the judges, apparently the Article 3 judges do, but these Article 1 judges, and you got to know the difference, all the Maui Second Circuit Court is Article 1, under the executive branch, under the president. In order for them to be putting those statutes on you, you need to be a United States citizen. You need to be a U.S. person. You need to be an employee, dependent, or officer of state of Hawaii. And see, I have it here. If you can see, put it there carefully so you can look at it. Maybe you take a screenshot if you like. If you're in Hawaii, some of these numbers are good for you. If you're in your state, go look up your DUNS numbers. But there are those DUNS numbers. That means they are private corporations, kids. These are not judicial courts with 11th Amendment judicial powers. They don't have the right to invoke the judicial power. But you think they do. And if you sign stuff, now they got you because contracts supersede those constitutions. So they're doing contract law in an Article 1 administrative court using maritime and admiralty law that you don't understand. Okay, using legalese on their documents, right? They got you because they think you can read. And this is what I've seen now. Quite a few of the Moors have figured out. We don't know how to read. We think we know how to read, but we don't know how to read. And we certainly are too proud to admit the fact that we don't know how to read because the words have multiple definitions that we don't know. You need to get a Black's Law dictionary. And they always used to tease me for reading the dictionary, but now it's coming in very handy. It's something I used to like to do as a child and never really got rid of it because I just like etymology and words. And it turns out that they use a lot of words that you think it means one thing and it means another, like children. Those are not children. Those are sons and daughters. Those are your offspring. Those are your living estate. Oh, look, people are making comments over here. Yeah, no. An American state national. Born in the sovereign state of Illinois. That doesn't make me a sovereign. That makes me an American national. I am sovereign because we're all sovereign, but the sovereignty is in the people, in all of us, not in any one of us. A sovereign would be a king or an emperor. We are quasi on the same level because our founding fathers made the king make the people sovereign. But anyway, I'm an American national. Let's see here. Yeah, there you go. Send me an affidavit of probable cause. I'd like to see it. Anyway, okay, so here's what I want, and here's the people I want it from. And it's a pretty long list. These are like judges, the branch manager. This is the other thing. Your court has a branch manager because it's a franchise. So I found our branch manager is a lady named Annie Janal, and she's at 737 Lower Main Street, which is like this strip mall down here, walking distance from where I am right now. Well, anywhere is walking distance if you've got the time, but literally a 5-minute walk, maybe a 15-minute walk from where I am. Not far at all. All right. So I put in for Mark Rickenwald, which is the Chief Justice, Richard Bisson, which was a judge that signed some paperwork for me, currently running for mayor. Doesn't have foreign agent registration statement, doesn't have the anti-bribery statement. That probably doesn't have an oath of office when he was judge either. If it is, I have yet to see it. Adrian Healy, which is a presiding judge who recused herself. James R. Rouse. And then I have to put a new judge in, which is the judge you saw or will see if you watch the video that I linked down there, which is Kelsey T. Kawamu. He should have these documents in order before he starts writing orders and arrest warrants and so on. Ernesto de Lima is a chief clerk. Rayshon DeFrancia is a clerk of the court. And any other clerk involved, there's another clerk named, I can't remember her name off the top of my head at the moment. But there's several other clerks. And the clerk in the court that you'll see in the link here, I don't know who she was. And I asked her what her name was, and she just pretended like I wasn't there. They don't want to give their names. That's a clue. Okay, then also the prosecutor's office, the head dude, Andrew Martin, Shelley Miyashiro, Ronson Esibara. Those are all prosecutors that fooled around in my case. So, hey, have you guys got your paperwork together? They don't. The public defenders, who now have the conflict of interest with me, Bradley Sova and Gustavo Gonzalez. This guy, when I first in handcuffs and leg chains, because it was still COVID at the time, and you couldn't go into the court and so on. And I was like, I'm not going in there with a mask on. You can't make me. He pleaded for me. Did he have an agency agreement with me? Did he have power of attorney for me? But he made a plea for me, and then told me that I couldn't see my discovery because it was secret. I just looked at him like, really? Do you think I'm one of the regular sheep in here? Did they not tell you who I was and why I'm here? Because this is all about them trying to scare a quote-unquote sovereign citizen back into the pen, and it ain't working. It is pissing me off, though. And what am I going to do? They have all the guns and clubs. Let's not forget, you can be righter than right. Doesn't matter. They got the guns and clubs, and clearly they don't give a fuck, right? They are absolutely act with impunity, do what the hell they like. So you have to either sick bigger dogs than them or figure out how to move through their courts using suits, claims, and counterclaims, paperwork. All right, and then a couple of people from the Maui Police Department, the guys that came to Arizona and kidnapped me without ever showing me a warrant. And what were they doing executing a warrant in Arizona anyway? They would need, anyway. So, because I finally saw a warrant, and I didn't bring it out here. I should show you that, or maybe it's in there. I'll take a look in my blue folder down there. But the idea is that it says in Maui County, right? So if they enter a bench warrant, like there was a bench warrant for my arrest in Oregon many moons ago, where I was going to the bathroom. I was taking a piss outside in the forest, not like on the street in a bar or something, like far away from any house or anything. And just so happens, a bicycle cop rode by and he wrote me a ticket for urinating in public. I was not in public, and I basically just never paid it and told him I'm not going to go pay this thing, and I'm pretty sure Hawaii doesn't extradite for urinating in public. And lo and behold, that bench warrant, I don't think it still exists, but they couldn't come to Hawaii and serve that bench warrant on me because it was only good in Oregon. Okay, so the bench warrant that the warrant that they put out was only good here in Hawaii, and yet somehow Arizona got involved. All right, so and then Maui Intake Services. Okay, I am currently not on my own recognizance. I'm under supervised release, which means that I have to call this lady, May, who basically, when she found out that I didn't do any of this stuff and had been in various tiffs with police officers over putting a mask on, because you can't tell me to put a mask on. You can't. Sorry, won't do it. Not doing it for you. I'm not doing it because, to make you feel better. If you are too stupid to figure out that there's a culling going on, like I said, neither side wants you. All right. So basically, let's see, what's her name? Her name is May Espina. She's the MISC pretrial officer, and I'm supposed to call her once a week. Does she have any paperwork? Is she legit? Don't think so. So everybody on this list, I'm going to take a copy of this. They were kind enough to send this back to me. Oh, and let me show you one more thing. One, it is notarized. Oops. Put that in there so you can see. And two, see, and notice this, right? He puts that there so you can't put any other documents. And if you learn about how to do your documents, and I'll put some video about how to look over when they leave big open spaces like that, naughty, because they can put stuff in there after it's done. So the notary makes sure that he does that so that doesn't happen. All right, and then I just put a handwritten notice of default with opportunity to cure with my thumbprint on it and a stamp, but also a 5-cent stamp on this side, right? Because I didn't put a $1 stamp on this, because it's just a freedom of information. Oh, yes, I did put a $1 stamp on this. All right, I lied. I put a $1 stamp on it. But on the handwritten notice where I just said, hey, please find my FOIA request, because I sent it to him a second time and I put second notice on the envelope. You had 10 days to respond. If this is the wrong address or you don't have this information, please forward to the correct address or persons who can answer this request. I am sure non-response is through no fault of your own, so here it is a second time. Please respond timely, otherwise this is a notice of default. And then see, I was just about to send them the default notice, because this is a notice of default with opportunity to cure, right? And this is how they cured it. They cured it with this document right here. I declare and certify under penalty of perjury that under the laws of the United States of America, the foregoing is and attached documents are true and correct, done in good faith. And that's 28 USC 1746. Go look that up. I'm telling you, put that on your documents, right? Because if you don't have, see, this is unsworn. I did not get a notary for this document. This is an unsworn document, but it has the statement that 28 USC 1746 says I'm supposed to put. Okay, thank you for your prompt attention to this matter, executed on the 19th of August, 2022. All right, so, and there are the certified mail numbers, 2 of them, and I had a witness sent to the Department of the Attorney General, and then it was by, and notice it says by Ben Hosea, American national, right there, not rebutted by anybody, executor, beneficial title holder for the all caps name, right? The Ben Hosea Rogers estate. Because I am doing this because I am going to sue them, because the paperwork that they sent to me has Ben Hosea Rogers on it in all caps. That's the estate name. All right, so there was my Freedom of Information Act request. So here is the notice to the requester, because they just have a form. And all they did was say, cannot be granted. Agency is unable to disclose the requested records for the following reason. Agency does not maintain the requested records. And it just gave me HRS section 92 F3. Other agency that is believed to maintain records. Blank, so they didn't answer. So all they did is say, we don't have these. Now, if you look up, and I'll put some documents in here that talks about these foreign agent registration statements and the anti-bribery statement and so forth. It's supposed to be the Attorney General that keeps track of these documents. So if she doesn't have them, who does? Or maybe they don't exist because they don't exist, because they don't have them. Get it? So this is yet more evidence. I'm just collecting evidence because later on, suits are going to fly. And I'm going to be the plaintiff, not the defendant. And they're going to have to defend their actions when they don't have the documents that they're supposed to have. Anti-bribery statement, kind of huge for the judges, but also for your police and sheriffs. They're supposed to have anti-bribery statements. They're also supposed to have foreign agent registration statements. They're also supposed to have, besides the anti-bribery statements, the foreign agent registration statements. And they should be able to show me a certificate of participation. They should be able to show me a warrant with a supporting affidavit from a witness. They need to produce a witness that says that I'm an employee, dependent, or officer of state of Hawaii, or the American Bar Association, or the judicial courts of the state of Hawaii, or the county of Maui, or the Second Circuit Courts state of Hawaii. None of that, because I'm not. All right, that's that form. So get to know your forms, and get to know your, don't be afraid to ask these guys. And then, again, make sure you write down the certified mail numbers. See, and I was about to put the third one in there. This one still hasn't been delivered. I sent this way back when, and it still hasn't got there. And I think there's some hanky-panky evidence tampering going on there, because suddenly the post office can't deliver it to these guys. When these guys, the Attorney General, not only received it and responded in that amount of time, this one still hasn't got there. And I've looked it up and looked at it. It says in transit. So, and you can look it up too. If you want to take down these numbers, you can see the dates and you can look it up. If you want to play along at home, you can go to the United States Post Office package delivery thing, and you can see when these things were delivered and so forth, and how they got from A to B. Okay, there's that. Now, I'm in Hawaiian Homes. They're driving by. It's a lovely day. Just before we started this video, the sirens went off. I was going to start the video with the sirens going, but it's we do civil defense once a month, make sure the sirens work. All right. Oops, there's all my envelope full of receipts and certified mail numbers and green cards and so on. If you total those up, it's starting to turn into some money. Let's see here. Oh, wait. So here are, yes, this, and this. All right, Chirins. Let's see, electronically filed. This is supposed to be is felony information. I think Kurt over there at Kirk's Law Corner had some choice words to say about felony information. No witnesses, just information. Hearsay, Your Honor. Why is my name bolded, by the way? Why is that bolded? What does that mean? Does that mean something special? And again, this is Shelley Miyashiro that didn't put the right number on, or the right address on there. So I need to copy this and mark it up. And then see, this is unused space. Same thing here. You'll see. All right. Now, here is supposedly a warrant of arrest and charge information. Is this thing notarized? Why no? Is there a supporting affidavit of a witness? Why no? Let's see here. And the first one basically said Ben Rogers. Didn't even have Ben H. Rogers and anything. Notice that the name isn't bolded on this one. Now, any law enforcement officer authorized by law to execute warrants and arrests in the state of Hawaii. So how was this executed in the state of Arizona? Let's find out together as I make more videos and time goes by. Because, no. Then, let's see here. Nice thick paper, too. Okay. I'm beginning to notice the grade of paper. That stuff from the UPS store. So cheap. They use the cheapest paper they can. All right. Here is a Supreme Court from the state of Hawaii. Official character judged by Chief Justice. So this is why, since Rick and Walden, it's got a lovely seal, which I'm pretty sure you can't see there, but you can feel it. State of Hawaii seal. That's a corporate seal. That's not the place. That's not where I am. I'm inhabiting the land here. This is Hawaiian homeland that I'm on. This is not the sea. This is the land. So this is Rickenwald's the Chief Justice for the Supreme Court. So was he acting inside his authority when he signed this on me? Because if he doesn't have a Foreign Agent Registration Act statement, and he doesn't have a anti-bribery statement, and he doesn't have an oath of office even, he's acting outside of his authority and conducting private business. Let's see here. And then here's a look, and then see, it just says State of Hawaii. Right, that's the corporation. That's not the Hawaii state. That's not the state of Hawaii. And I read this to you already. And I have it memorized. It's Hawaii Revised Statutes 601-15 says the style of process for the state of Hawaii shall read the state of Hawaii in title case. That just says state of Hawaii. That doesn't say the state of Hawaii, and it's not title case. It's all caps. See, we can't read. They sent us documents. Ooh, it looks all official. Look, it's got a lovely seal on there. This has got a lovely seal on it. In his name. This is Ige. I got Ige's autograph. This is the governor who did all kind of things that he wasn't allowed to do. And then, see, on this one, they did mark it off so that they don't have the open space. And this one came from a guy named Richard T. Bisson, who happens to run in for County of Maui. Again, does he have a foreign agent registration statement? Does he have an anti-bribery statement? Does he have an oath of office? He was, at the time, judge of the Second Circuit Court, or it just says judge of the Circuit Court, Second Circuit, State of Hawaii. It's Maui Second Circuit Court is the actual name of the court. So even there, he's letting you know. Further, this just has an attestor. It does not, it's not notarized. Right? But it was attested, so that signature the way we do it. And so if you're gonna have a tester, then you should have at least 3 attesters, not just one. Okay. So I'm gonna copy all of this. More evidence that these guys are joshing you. And in my case, this Josh cost me 143 days sitting in in Maricopa County. What is it? Watkins. Oh, I got a tour of the place. Like I said, Watkins, LBJ, and 4th Avenue. 4th Avenue is the dungeon of the places. And oh, shoot, it's gonna blow away. I just need a good paperwork. Oh, and I have one more thing I want to show you. Are they going to pay me for that? I believe they're going to pay me for that. Are they going to pay me for this almost a year of house arrest where I'm supposed to be not under my own recognizance, but have never been have never been convicted of any crime, have only been charged, haven't seen a grand jury. Apparently, this was done all by a judge who didn't have her paperwork in order, who might be in trouble now. They write bonds. They write bonds. They write bonds. They write bonds. So here are some forms you may not have seen before, but maybe heard about in some of the YouTube videos. So I went and asked for them. These are 1099 OIDs, original issue discount. And this, and notice you can't just download this and you can't copy this form. You need to use this form if you're going to use it. I would be very, very careful using any of the 1099s, A, B, or C's. Patrick Devine talked about it. I looked into it. I went, I don't think so. And don't you dare lean a judge. Oh my God, don't do it. They'll come after you with full force and you'll be unhappy for a long time. This is a 1096. Okay, so this 1096 and this 1099 OID, the prosecutor needs to file these forms. I gave them to them. He tossed them back at me. These are not voluntary. These are mandatory on them because they're the ones tapping my account. So again, IRS, your friend, all that sexy stuff about violating my rights, the conspiracy of rights under 18 U.S.C. 241 and deprivation of rights under color of law. Obviously, it's color of law because they don't have law on their side because they're not. Man, my hair's just doing fun stuff today. They're not because the wind's coming from behind, so I'm looking like a cockatoo. But they're not doing what they're supposed to do. They're not having the paperwork that they're supposed to have. And they're basically doing business in private for you on the private side. They don't want you on the public side. Clearly, they don't want a court of public record. They want to do everything in private. It's a star court. And they don't want to file their taxes. So that is how you get them. Cash Patel, a couple other guys are saying, whether you're a judge, a mom of four, a narco, Al Capone, IRS, they don't care. And they love to audit your account because they get 13% just for doing the audit. And your account's worth gajillions of dollars. So, I mean, that's a big number, gajillions. It's probably in the hundreds of millions, if not billions, especially at my age, where they've been writing bonds and doing all this kind of stuff on your account. And they've written more bonds over this last year. And every continuance, they use the certificate of participation to pay themselves, the judge in particular, 18% on the case. So the more continuances, the more money they get, the more time they have for interest, the more trading that goes on. All right. They're supposed to report that stuff. The certificate of participation gives them tax-exempt status, but the underlying bonds are taxable, and they are not a tax-exempt organization, as I showed you in other videos when I asked using the 4506A whether they were a tax-exempt organization. They are not a not-for-profit tax-exempt public entity. They are a private corporation that owes tax. They're naughty. All right. The whole thing is fraud. The whole thing is corrupt. And I'm going to put a couple of videos over here. If you choose to participate in the corruption and you find out about the corruption and you stand silent because you're chicken, and I find out most of my friends are chicken, that's on you. And when it's time in this simulacrum to move on to the next part of the simulation, what you did in this part of the simulation is going to determine how well or how you can place yourself in the next simulation. So if I was you, I would do as much as possible to do what's right. Don't harm others. Don't harm self. In fact, educate others. Educate self. If you can heal others or feed others, share your food. Oh my God, just share your food. 10%, if you get a windfall, take 10%, give it away. Right? Somebody gives you wind up with $10,000, take $1,000. On my way, I walked to court, which is a ways from here. I pass a lot of homeless people. We never had homeless people like this on Maui before. And I passed this one church that used to be a supermarket, interestingly enough, and they were having a food bank in there. Take $1,000, donate to the food bank. There's hungry people wherever you are, and times are getting tougher. You know it. So if you're able to do this, do this. If you can't feed yourself, then that's another thing. But if you've got extra, and like I said, you get a windfall, or if I get one of these W4 sandwiches comes back and I wind up with $1 million or $250,000 or $33,000 or whatever the hell it is, 10% of that is going to go to various charitable organizations, because you know what needs being done in your neighborhood better than the government does. And you can focus that money better than they can, because if you want to waste money, get the government involved, as you well know. You can feed homeless people. You can educate children, give money to private preschool or private daycare or whatever. You can, there's so much you can do in your community. Just look around. There's everybody needs money. Everybody. And it's not money, it's currency, right? That stuff in your pocket. Holy cow. We got lots of stuff over here. Hopefully when I repost this, you can see the chats that are coming. Anyway, yes, American State National, we did L funds. I'd like to see an affidavit of probable cause, or what one is supposed to look like, because I don't have one. Yeah, there you go. Okay. You might send some paperwork in under that right to travel thing. See, here's the problem. You signed a contract probably with your driver's license and probably registered the vehicle. So you got some issues there. So anyway, the idea is that they still don't have, the police officer probably doesn't have an anti-bribery statement, probably doesn't have a foreign agent registration statement, probably doesn't have the proper paperwork in order, probably has an oath of office. But at this point, I don't know, because I fully expected the judges to have oaths of office. And it looks like they don't. I can't believe how naive it was. I fully expected them to let me go after 3 days, too, when they arrested me without a warrant. They didn't care. And again, that warrant for arrest that I just read you, that was for the state of Hawaii. I never saw one for Arizona. So first I got to deal with my stuff in Hawaii, and then I got to deal with the stuff in Arizona. Okay, let's see here. Yep, there's lots of different places that will show you how to do it. I have a statement of repudiation, which I'm going to read here. That's going to be a long video because that thing is quite long. But repudiate your U.S. citizen. It was by mistake. And if you look at the things, they make allowances for mistake. And not only was it mistake, it was fraud, because you were defrauded into thinking that that was the same thing as an American national or American United States of America citizen. No, United States Corporation citizen. That's why there's no A there. It's not USA citizen. It's just U.S. citizen. All right. So the 4 things you got to get rid of. And I still got 1 to go. I still got to go down to my bank and say hi. And this is the thing. Think about it, with certain people telling you, oh, you got to vote really hard. We're going to change things when we vote really hard. Okay. In order to vote, that thing's going to say United States citizen. So you got to get rid of that. I got rid of that in 2019 on February 28th. I remember, because I went down to the office and told them to revoke my voter registration. My driver's license is expired. But on your driver's license form, you told them that you were a United States citizen. I'm sure of it. U.S. citizen. And then on your passport, if you have one, it said U.S. citizen. And then on your bank account. So you told them not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 times that you were a U.S. citizen. Why wouldn't they think you're a U.S. citizen if you signed your name and you checked the box that said U.S. citizen? So you need to go back and correct that status. Okay. You didn't know that that wasn't the same, and you didn't understand at the time that United States was a corporation with a DUNS number. You were thinking that it was a country that you were part of. And that, okay, so what you want to be is wherever you were born, a national of that state, right? Your state is sovereign. It's a country. There's 50 countries that are coming together to make one confederation known as the United States of America, right? The 50 states. And I'm not so sure Alaska and Hawaii are still part of that, but that's a whole other issue. Let's see here. What? I don't understand that code. I'll have to look back. Oh, plants. Okay. Yo. Let's see here. And they're talking to each other. Well, share it when you pow. When your suspension is over, you can share this right now. Oh, no, not right now, but when the thing pow. Okay, so the idea is, again, they don't have oaths of office. That just still blows my mind. I'm still such a naive little slave that I was sure that they were going to have oaths of office. But they weren't going to have foreign registration statements and probably not anti-bribery statement. Nope, they don't have any of them. So far, they might, and they're just not showing me. But I don't think they do. And if they don't, there goes their qualified immunity. Go look that word up. And there goes their sovereign immunity, which is amusing because that's the first thing they're going to go for, is to tell you that they have sovereign immunity as a judge and that you can't sue them. No, these are clerks masquerading as judges. Simple as that. Oh, let me read this. Hold on a second. I'm going to open up this other thing and hope the thing doesn't crash because I got all this other stuff opened up. And there's a couple other documents I need to read to you quickly. All right. So let's see here. Oh, and if you go over to this place called Bastion, the 100th Monkey is over there on Bastion being a dork. But Bastion, basically what I think it is a hangout for FBI agents and CIA agents to see those of us that have been kicked off of Facebook and YouTube for the most part, and all the other platforms. Like I've been kicked off of Twitter forever and ever. All those other ones. I think I still have an Instagram account, maybe. But the idea being is that if you posted anything that went against the grain in the land of the free, home of the brave, in actually land of the free, home of the slave, they kick you off. So now they made this site so they can keep track of, who are the radicals and who's talking about doing stupid stuff. And Bastion every once in a while cracks me up because it actually offends me because they got some really serious anti-Semites on Bastion, but who don't understand that it's the Khazarians. It's not the Jewish people. Most Jewish people are cool. Some of them are dorks when it comes to the Goyim and at the end of time. And anyway, won't go down that road. But the idea being is that overall, it's the Khazarians. And it's still the Khazarians. It's the Khazarians. It's the fucking Khazarians. And then you can get crazy with the guys that are above the Khazarians that you never talk about that may or may not be from here. I have another book. Like I said, I got many videos to make because there's a lady that did a great book about how the Nephilim, these fallen angels, are basically the guys that are running the Federal Reserve banks. And her information is interesting, and I just want to share it. Whether you believe it or not, here's what I know. There's a whole lot more going on here than we are told. So anyway, clerks masquerading as a judge. No one is bound to obey an unconstitutional law, and no courts are bound to enforce it. That's the 16th American Jurisprudence, Section 2nd, Section 177, late 2nd, Section 256. An unconstitutional act is not law. It confers no rights. It imposes no duties. You're non-assumption. Let me start from the beginning before I interrupt myself. But you're non-assumption. I don't have a contract. I never agreed to any of this stuff. I didn't know. I didn't understand. I made a mistake. Okay, so I'm non-assumption. And you need to either come up with a witness that says that I am a employee dependent, and they consider you dependent, especially if you're taking benefits, but a dependent employee or officer of any one of these state of, county of, clerk, court of, in all caps, that has a private DUNS number. I don't work for any of them, so I'm not subject to those statutes. Okay. That doesn't mean I'm beyond the law. That doesn't mean I can't go, stick a knife in somebody and not be like my cellmate, because we got into this conversation. He goes, then I'm good. No, you're not good. You stabbed the guy to death, and the only reason why he didn't die is because we got great medical technology, and they brought him back to life on the way to the hospital. Otherwise, you would have been in here for murder instead of just, stabbing a guy to death. And met fentanyl salesmen and guys that just ruined and wrecked lives and knew it. And one guy who was proud of the fact that like 4 or 5 people that he sold to overdosed and died. Almost got into it with that guy because I would have had no issue because This is Hawaiian Homes. This is where I grew up. Um, we do things a little differently here, and when we fight, we fight. We don't big body at each other. We don't call names. It's like if it's time to go, it's time to go. I'm old now, so that's behind me. But there's a bunch of guys in the corner and over here that obviously from some of the things I've heard in the evening times, especially on the weekends, are still into it. And that's the other thing. There is no situation so fucked up that calling the cops can't make it worse. And the people in this neighborhood understand the concept. Anyway, back to this. An unconstitutional act is not law. It confers no rights, imposes no duties, affords no protections. It creates no office. It is in legal contemplation, as inoperative as though it had never been passed. That's Norton v. Shelby County, 118 U.S. 425 P 442. I'm pretty sure that means page 442. But anyway, Norton v. Shelby. An unconstitutional law is void as no law. So you got to read each word. An unconstitutional law is void and is as no law. An offense created by it is not a crime. Ex parte Cybold 100 U.S. 371, 376, 1880. And so it's after 1871, so can be used, because that's when this corporation was made. Quoted with was 1871. So a lot of times they say anything that happened before 1871, we don't recognize it. The Constitution was written before 1871, you bastards. Quoted with approval in Fay v. Novia 372 U.S. 391, 408, 1963. Well, great. Okay, last one. It never became a law, and hold on. If I was working for my own radio station back in the day, I would have been fired by now. Okay. It never became a law and was as much a nullity as if it had been an act or declaration of an unauthorized assemblage of individuals. Ryan V. Lynch, 68. I believe that's ill. ILL, period, 160. Okay, and one more here. Hold on, we're not done. Again, clerks masquerading as judges. When acting to enforce a statute and its subsequent amendments to the present date, the judge of the municipal court is acting as an administrative officer and not in a judicial capacity. Let me repeat that. When acting to enforce a statute and its subsequent amendments to the present date, the judge of the municipal court is acting as an administrative officer and not in a judicial capacity. Courts administering or enforcing statutes do not act judicially, but merely ministerially, but merely act as an extension, as an agent for the involved agency, but only in a ministerial and not discretionary capacity. So you need to look up ministerial and discretionary capacity. Okay, that's Thompson v. Smith, 154 S period E period 579, 583. And then there's Keller v. P.E., 261 U.S. 428, F period R period C. Oh, wait, different site. So it's cited 3 times here. Thompson v. Smith, Keller v. P.E., and FRC v. G.E. And FRC v. G.E. is 281 U.S. 464. Thompson v. Smith is 154 SE 579 583. So you can look it up on the internets. Never quote stuff and put stuff in your documents that you don't know what it means or haven't read the case or don't understand where the quote came from. And then here's the other thing. I see these things once in a while, and I've looked up the quote, and it's not there. Does not exist. Sounds good, but it isn't there. So before you use stuff, even from me, make sure I'm just some guy on the internet with dreads. And you see my hair. Oh man, just went to hell when I went to jail. You'll notice it looks different. It's about to get shaved off. I'm about to shave it down and start over. But first, I want my common law wife to enjoy the dreads for a little bit. Anyway, and this crazy mess up here that didn't dread because it's too thin. But it's coming back. It's definitely coming back. Should have seen me when I first got out of jail. I looked like hell. They literally tried to kill me. Like I said, 5 months of eating beans and rice. Oh, and usually undercooked and so forth. And then, like I said, on the weekends, only peanut butter and bread. I mean, that was nuts. Anyway, the final quote or the final citing is Keller v. PE, and that's 261 U.S. 428. Okay, because they're clerks masquerading as judges. And again, they don't have the judicial power. The 11th Amendment forbids them from having the judicial power. Understand? Okay, I think, have I gone through all the paperwork that I wanted to go through? And I've only done an hour, so not too bad, because I got stuff to do today. But I wanted to get some more video in. So the first thing, I'm going to put some links to videos on the W4 sandwich. Learn about that. She talks about Form 15227, which is getting a PIN for your Social Security account so that they can't get into it. Let's see. Figure out who owes what when it comes to tax forms. Figure out that if you use the 4506A and fax it into the IRS and ask if these are tax-exempt organizations, you'll find out that no, they're not tax-exempt. They are, well, let's do it both ways. Tax-exempt, not-for-profit government entities. They are not tax-exempt. They are for-profit. 100% they're profiting off of your trust accounts and declaring themselves beneficiaries and declaring themselves executors, and then writing, they need 3 signatures. Again, who are the signatures they need? Well, it's going to be the judge who's acting as executor, the beneficiary, which is the plaintiff, the prosecutor who has declared himself beneficiary. And again, if he's plaintiff, if he is acting plaintiff for the state of Hawaii, which is a dead fictional entity, how do they have an agency agreement? And now go find out what an agency agreement is if you don't know. But that's the agreement between you and your attorney that gives him agency to represent you. So if you get a attorney, and I have had ones assigned to me, I've never asked for one. They just keep assigning them because they need that 3rd signature. There's no agency agreement. And if you listen to the video, you'll see that I have no agency agreement with that man because we don't have a signed contract. He doesn't have power of attorney for me. There is one person, and I believe she's watching, maybe, that has power of attorney. Nobody else. That there is no other person that has power of attorney. So me and one other person, not the state of Hawaii, not any court, not any judge, not any prosecutor, not any public defender, not any lawyer. None of them have power of attorney. Not any, what's the attorney general, not any agency at all. Not the governor, not any of these guys. They don't have my power of attorney. They can't sign documents for me. They can't do dork while I'm still alive. Okay, and I gave my power of attorney to one other person. And in that power of attorney, I should read it to you, it rescinds any assumed or implied power of attorney from everybody else, right? Rescissions, not just rescinds. It rescissions it. Okay, because you can rescind your signature on any contract. And I have to go over that because there are many contracts that you are considered to be a part of, and you can rescind those signatures. And if they bring them up in court, rescind. Oh, that was a mistake. Right. So show me a contract so I can ascertain whether I need to rescind that signature or whether that contract's valid or what. They don't do it, but they don't have a contract with you. All right. They don't care. They got the guns and clubs. That's their contract. Might makes right. They don't have anything, including, I'm going to say it one more time. They don't have oaths of office as far as I can tell. These guys are completely and utterly criminal in their behavior and actions. They are Satan-worshiping, child trafficking losers that need to be held to account and brought to justice. Is it going to happen in our lifetime? I think enough people are waking up that it's happening. Once you figure this out, that's how guys are saying, oh, you got bigger balls than me, or another guy's like, oh, you're a braver man than I. Well, once you figure out that these guys are 100% illegitimate, you don't look at them with temerity. And right, I actually feel sorry for them because there's more going on than just this one life. Like I said, I don't care how you believe. If you believe this is one time through, which, by the way, they're Pharisees, they believe that you might as well get all you can in this lifetime because this is all there is. And so, if you screw your fellow man, and so who cares? It's over when you die. I don't believe that. And many others don't believe that. Christians don't believe that. And I can tell you, without sounding like a crazy person, The Christ consciousness is here, alive and well, and it's in you if you accept the Christ consciousness. If you're waiting for some dude to come back and fix everything, you gotta wait coming. But if you understand the Christ consciousness and you understand, like I said, I laid hands and I can. Oh, I should have brought those documents. I have them inside. I'll bring them. And we'll make another video where I'll read you some of the testimonials. But I laid hands, and for some of those guys, all I did was lay hands. Okay, it's not me. It comes through me. The Christ consciousness comes through you into the other, and that healing is between that and the Christ. And all I am is the conduit. I'm like the extension cord. I got nothing to do with it when it comes right down to it. They have to accept the Christ. They have to accept the healing, and when they do, amazing things can happen. And again, these are guys in jail that had done very naughty things, to say the least. Stabbings and shootings and selling drugs and all that kind of stuff is par for the course for most of those guys. I mean, just regular shoplifting was like, I mean, that's like the least of it. And some of these guys like breaking into storage units and stealing. I mean, just, thieves, liars, murderers. Some of them, well, not all of them were murderers, obviously. And I wasn't supposed to be in with murderers because those guys are way above my pay grade. I was supposed to be at the bottom, but my bond was $50,000, which I think was an excessive bond for what I did, which was travel with my son, exercising my right to travel. Like I said, back from Dred Scott days. You don't like what's happening in this state because the guy that signed that document, I showed you, I got Igay's signature, was doing all kinds of things that he was way outside of his authority, didn't have any authorization whatsoever. The legislature makes law. This is basic in our Constitution. Oh, and by the way, you should read your constitutions and figure out speedy trial and your right to due process. See, what they're doing is they're giving you simulation of process. They simulate it. It's almost process, but it's not process because they can't give you process because they don't have judicial power. So they can't issue a warrant for your arrest that has any judicial power. And the Sixth Amendment says it has to be from a judge. It has to be judicial, not from some clerk, not for some clerk pretending to be a judge. It's supposed to be from a judge, and it needs to be supported. In my case, never have any kind of statements supporting the arrest warrant from a witness with firsthand knowledge of the matter that's sworn, that has that the document's been notarized. Further, don't have that's another thing. Anyway, they make statements, but they're not sworn statements. They're not haven't been attested to by a notary. And that one, as I showed you, that one warrant that I have, the only piece of paper that I have that's apparently my arrest warrant, was only good in the state of Hawaii, and there is no supporting affidavit. Further, there was no grand jury indictment. I have not been indicted by a grand jury for anything. The 12 guys or 24 guys didn't get together and say, we're presented with evidence. So, yeah, you should arrest that guy. And yeah, he needs to be charged with a crime. That never happen. All right. So he or she, this is Moke. We call this cat Moke because he beats up all the other cats and has quite the attitude. But for some reason, he's decided that he's my pal. So go away, you silly cat. Anyhow, where was I? The idea before I was interrupted by Moke the cat. And I'm not a cat person. I'm a full-on dog person. And there are, I don't know how many cats around here, and half of them have decided, hey, we like that guy. Anyhow, the idea being is that these people are acting without authority, outside their authority. They don't have authority because they don't have their paperwork together. They don't have oaths of office. They don't have judicial authority. They're acting outside. And the 11th Amendment, go read the 11th Amendment. So how can they issue a warrant for me that is judicially sound if they can't invoke the judicial power? They can't. So when Homeboy is threatening me with a $10,000 arrest warrant, like I said, go watch the video. When all I did was, hey, is this court of public record? Why, no, it's not a court of public record. They're doing private bar business. Simple. And every bit of their documentation tells you that they're doing private bar business. You think it looks all official and fancy and so forth, but no, it's all private business. They are not And again, send in your 4506A and ask if they, and I'll show it to you again if you want to see it, and ask if they are tax exempt, not for profit government entities. And they should be de jure government entities. They're not. They're private corporations masquerading. And that means that the judges and many of these people are personating. The word is not impersonating, just personating public officials. Right? They're imposters. Simple. Okay. So rather than make a 3-hour video today, or keep going because I got a crap ton more paperwork that I can go through, I'm going to make more paperwork as we go by. So today is the 1st of September. It is Thursday. I'll probably make another one this weekend, or maybe I'll make one on Saturday and Sunday, because I have that one book about the Nephilim. There's all kind of history to talk about, because all of our history, it looks like pretty much all of it. You think your news is bad, the history's worse. But the idea that these slavers are still slaving and got to the Americas and are slaving. Oh, here's a great one. I'm going to put this video underneath because it's from 2018. It's Bix Wier talking about the fact that, all right, let's go back in time. Cleopatra, that was a hell of a movie. It's like 4 hours long and had an intermission. I remember that as a child with, what was the lady's name? She was married numerous times. I can see her face. Anyway, somebody put her name in there. Cat, really? It was, yes, Liz Taylor. Thank you. So with Liz Taylor, it tells you the Hollywood version of that. And yes, Alexander and Cleopatra, when they lost, and they shouldn't have lost, but when they lost, they committed suicide. But all of their retainers and followers and so forth did not commit suicide, and their sons and daughters, of which there were quite a few, were not keen on committing suicide. So what they did is they took these huge boats, and you can see them in the movie. You don't think those boats could get across the Atlantic? Come on. Anyway, a couple of 100,000 followers, like 250,000 of them, picked up and left because they didn't want to be under Roman rule. Not to mention they were going to be persecuted, and the Romans were not friendly to the guys that opposed them, and certainly they would be punishing them for being part of that whole thing. If you read your history, so they got they are amusing animals. Anyway, he tried to get up on top of the car and failed and fell down, and anyway landed on his feet though because he's a cat. Anyhow, they were trying to get out of there, or not trying. They did get out of there, cross the Atlantic, which was no big deal. The lie that the Atlantic separated us, and the first guy to be there was Christopher Columbus. And Christopher Columbus, really? Who is Columbus and Christopher? Anyway, the names are made up, the whole fucking thing. All right. So there were huge obelisks at the mouth of the Mississippi because the Moroccan Empire, okay, just like on Maui, when there was the gold rush in California, it was easier to grow vegetables on that mountain over there called Haleakala, and cabbage. To this day, they still grow cabbage. They still grow onions and potatoes and so forth in pretty great abundance, but a lot of those fields are now fallow. But we could be growing a whole lot more food on this island than we do right now. Put them on boats, put all that stuff on boats, and send it to San Francisco and various other ports to support the gold rush, San Diego also. Then it was to try to get stuff across the Rockies or to try to grow it themselves, because you put stuff in boats and it's way easier to just ship it across the ocean. No wheels, no nothing, right? Just stick up a sail and go. All right, so that story that the oceans were barriers, no, the oceans were highways. And not only that, you could take huge, long voyages and the ocean would feed you because you could put nets out, and I've done it, where you're just sailing along, put a couple of fishing poles out and bring in fish, fresh sashimi on the boat right there. Done it numerous times. So the idea that you're going to starve to death out there, and if you have any minor understanding of how to do desalination, there's plenty of water to drink, just especially if it's a sunny day. This is not hard. Okay, so the idea that you couldn't cross the oceans, lie. All right, the Moroccan Empire, up the Tennessee River Valley, into many of those places. Why is it there's a place called Cairo where the river, the Mississippi and the Missouri meet? There's a town that I've been there called Cairo. Why is Memphis called Memphis? Why does the DNA match from the Indians there to people in North Africa and particularly in Egypt? Why is that? Because they're lying to you is why. All right. And the idea is that those people absolutely had truck. So getting back to Antony and Cleopatra's progeny, they left that world and came to the old world or the new world, depending on which you prefer, and went up the Mississippi River and apparently got off their boats and went all the way to what we now call the Grand Canyon. There are artifacts in the Grand Canyon that are Egyptian. Why are the mountains? I've been to there. Many of the peaks and many of the places have Egyptian names, are named after Egyptian gods. Why is that? And sometimes it sounds phonetically correct. Like, then there's a great place in Idaho called Owaihi. It's spelled with an O. It's like O-Y. Anyway, yeah, because the Hawaiians made it. They didn't walk across a land bridge. They made it to the Americas. They made it there was all kind of stuff happening on this planet that we have no clue that they didn't tell us about. But the idea that the Egyptians and there is gold down there in the Grand Canyon, and there is okay. So that is your case for silver, because there's a crap ton of gold, and we're going to need a crap ton of gold. But silver, we need more, and you want silver. So things are about to bust. It is now September. I've been saying this for years and years, but I'm telling you, get some silver in your hands, not in a safe deposit box, not in a bank, not on an exchange. Physical silver that you can hold. I have some, but I didn't bring it out. And that's another thing. Walk into court, and I told them, I'm not a pauper. I have silver. They didn't want to hear that. Okay, because they want you to be a dependent. But if you have silver specie in your hand, you're not, right? If you only have that worthless paper that's not even yours, that has serial numbers that you're allowed to usufruct, you're allowed to use that stuff, but it ain't yours. You best think again that that doesn't make you a pauper. That doesn't make you a dependent, because you need to have some specie on you. And just so happens when I didn't have any in my pocket, which apparently is a good thing, because I'll bet you the cop that arrested me would have stolen it. But having that and not giving them your fingerprints, they have. Okay, just don't scratch me. The not having fingerprints and having silver money in your pocket, actual American silver dollars, makes it clear to them that you might not be one of the regulars. All right. And when you walk into court and you say, hey, I'm here to address this matter. I'm here appearing specially, not generally. But before, I didn't even get a chance to go that far, because almost every time when I was in court, I always say I'm appearing specially, not generally. That generally means that you want to have a motion heard or something else done. But you're not a subset. That's not a real court. It's certainly not a court of public record. It's a private court. They have the authority to absolutely to pick you up with guns and clubs. But when they do arrest you illegally and unconstitutionally, you have some recourse. So you can. All right, stop it. He's being loving, but with his claws out. Stop it, Moke, you silly cat. All right, maybe that's my cue to quit. But he's being loving, but with his claws out. Stop it, Moke, you silly cat. All right, maybe that's my cue to quit. But the idea that, and I'm going to put that video down there, that Wier did all the research and found there is a crap ton of gold in the Grand Canyon. There were Egyptians on this continent. Well, I'm in Hawaii, so I can't say this continent. But when I was in Arizona, there were Egyptians that had been that far. The idea that these people didn't know how to travel and didn't know how to make goods, and then when they got to wherever they were going, didn't know how to make carts and chariots and so forth. And back then, they weren't wusses like us, and they walked for long distances. And then there's other information that is coming to light that might have been not that long ago, that things were pretty cool. And Tesla was not giving us new information or new technology, but he was reviving old technology. And there's, pictures of moving sidewalks and these buildings. Apparently the difference between, and we've proven this already, that they're in the ether, that putting a pole up the difference in variance between the top of that pole and the ground, you get the difference in variance between the top of that pole and the ground, you get electric charge. Free energy, basically, is what I'm trying to stumble through. The fact that they had electric cars back in the day, electric scooters, they had all manner of devices that were, and batteries that were. Gasoline is a great thing. Coal is a great thing, as the Germans are about to find out. But God, just the things that are going on, there's so much to talk about. I'm talking about my own stuff. But do I get to say I told you so yet? Did I warn you about putting food up a long time ago when food was easy to come by, and those places that did the 25-year food things, it was super cheap back then. Now, if you take a look, you'll be on a waiting list, or it takes forever. Health Ranger has some great stuff because he does all organic, but it's getting pricey. If you were putting stuff away a year ago, you would have it, and it's good for 25 years. There's probably a pretty good chance that you're going to get a chance to use it, unfortunately. The fact that they are, in fact, culling the herd, the fact that, I mean, many of these things, pretty easy to see. The one thing that still hasn't happened is silver has not taken off, but it's gonna. And I think it's going to be this month or next. Also, next month, there should be some interesting information coming out about certain things that happened, making Brandon your boy. But Brandon is on his way out. Let's put it that way. Okay, I'm going to call it a day. But the idea is look for more videos. I hope you got some value out of this one. Like I said, the 1522, 15227, fill that thing out and get your PIN number so that you can, I'm being distracted by a cat that's biting my heels. Anyway, get that form from the government and get it filled out. Learn about the W4 sandwiches. I'll put videos down there. So far, I've had no successes, but there have been successes that have rolled in. People getting money back from car repossessions from 25 years ago. That's one I saw there. But there's all manner of them. And also, I used them to audit this account. And I'm pretty sure that's one of the reasons why they'll never tell you. That judge who's been messing with me for over a year, making it so that I'm not under my own recognizance, but I'm supposed to be under supervised release, recused herself, is because of the W4s, the W4 sandwiches that I put in. And I think this new judge doesn't want to dick with it. And I think the prosecutor is starting to figure out that, yeah, their qualified immunity and their sovereign immunity is bye-bye. And I'm not going to be like, okay. And this is the thing. I did subrogation. I demanded my right of subrogation. And please certify my right of subrogation. I asked the judge, please have the prosecutor or the plaintiff certify my right of subrogation 3 times, right? Trying to settle. Okay, they wouldn't settle. All right, then let's move to suit. And so now I have to let the Secretary of State know that I'm planning on suing and making claims. I need to, the Attorney General and Risk Management need to write 3 letters, which I'm not going to have notarized. I'm just going to do the unsworn statement from 28 USC 1746. And, God dang it. And like I said, if you're wearing jeans and boots, no big deal. But I'm in shorts and slippers, so the bites hurt. And it's gentle bites, but it's still enough to get your attention, which is what he wants. It's like, what are you coming to that screen for? When I'm sitting over here, don't you know I'm the cat and I need petting? Anyhow, the idea is that you send in those W-4s, and the IRS audits it. Or actually, it's not the IRS. It's the Department of the Treasury. The Department of the Treasury Executive Secretary, and them guys get into some troubles because they are not filing their taxes the way they're supposed to, and they're not tax exempt. They are for profit. So you can use those W-4s, but you got to send them in early. I didn't find out about it until way too late. I didn't send my first stuff in until the 22nd. So it's not like it's instant. It takes a while for the mail to get there. And that was the thing. I sent 2 express packages. I got refunds on both of them because neither one of them got there within when they said they were supposed to get there. So basically, I sent that stuff in for free, and then I got my refunds. So that was good. That was like almost $60 because I wanted it to get there quickly. But the idea is that they got the documents. Now they got to look through the stuff. They got to do an investigation. They got to do an audit. They got to stop it. They got to then they got to get back to them. And, so it takes a while for it to cycle through. Just like when you use the 15227, it's not instant that you get your PIN number. It takes 4 to 6 weeks for them to get back to you. There's a faster way to do it online, but being the kind of guy I am, I don't want to give them all that information. Thank you. So I just filled out the form, and I'll wait for them to send it back. And I've been looking in the mail now because I sent that long enough ago that I should be getting it back, because they say it takes 4 to 6 weeks for them to send you the paperwork, and then you call in and get your PIN. So I still haven't got it. All right. Like I said, be looking for another video. I've got plenty more and lots of paperwork to go over, to not just with this, but with things that are going on here. And I have to be very gingerly approaching these subjects because I don't want to get kicked off this platform. Because, like I said, this computer, I can't do BitChute. Oh, this is another thing. Please, several of you, the video that is down there that says, is this a court of public record? Please download that if you have the ability, and upload that to BitChute or put that someplace else, because they have a bad habit of pulling them off of YouTube. Because I've seen those kind of videos several times and never stress tested it myself, always made an appearance, never asked if it was a court of public record. And now I realize probably could have ended this thing a lot sooner if I'd been more of a dork. But I didn't know what I was doing. So until I know what I'm doing, until I put those 12 presumptions, I'll put them here again. You need to rebut those 12 presumptions. Presumption number one, that it's a court of public record, has now been stress tested. It's not just some guy on the internet. I have actually done it and seen that apparently it's not a court of public record, because if it was, he would have said, yes, this is a court of public record. State your name. He didn't say that. He just said, state your name. Well, you're not making an appearance then, are you? Anyway. Okay. So Saturday or Sunday, expect another video or two. I got lots to talk about, more than this. And again, like I said, I got to think about what I'm going to say and how I'm going to present it, because it's impossible to talk about certain topics, and as you know, so you have to go to other places. But I can talk about this. I can talk about the fact that you better be putting up silver. Be looking forward to a time when you need to use the food that you've stored. So I hope you have put up some food. I've been talking about this. I was gone for 10 months. You had all that time before they started blowing up food factories and doing all that kind of stuff. Not too concerned about nuclear war. And if there is a nuclear war, I'm not prepping for a nuclear war here, because ground zero is that mountain right there, because there's all kind of cool equipment on top of Halakala, and also Pearl Harbor, Schofield Bear. I mean, there's big military bases on Oahu, and the kind of nukes that they use now are not the kind of nukes that you've heard about, with Hiroshima and Nagasaki. If they dropped one of those kind of nukes on Oahu, we're done here in this state. So there's no prepping, and I wouldn't want to survive it. I would not want to survive it, because, oh my God. Anyway, radiation sickness, and yeah. So that would be a slow, ugly way to go. I'd rather just flash and be gone. And then new simulation. But the idea is that I don't think that that's going to be the case. I'm down with David Wilcock, who says that I don't think they're going to allow this thing to go nuclear. Although there might be some micronukes, and there's this thing called karma. What country on the planet is the only country on the planet that's actually, if it's true, drop nukes on another country? Oh yeah, that would be us. So could one or two be, micro nukes be used against us and balance out the karma? Hate to say it, but there's a possibility. So, but I don't know. I'm not too worried about it. I have a sunnier disposition than that. I think we're going to get through this thing. I think we're going to have some gnarliness. There's much pain to come. The pain is not over yet. They want more pain. They want to get rid of quite a few that are stupid people, that are stupid, who are, how should we say, compliant and not spiritually advanced. Let's put it that way. Enough to ask questions or stand up for themselves or be disobedient or protect their own freaking children. Anyhow, I'm going to stop talking, as Amazing Polly says. Oh yeah, watch some Amazing Polly. And also SGT Report has got some good stuff. I'll put some links down below to some of the videos that I like. and the big swear video for sure. And I'll put another video again. I put it on the other one. Oh, and go back and look at the last video that I made. I put, especially in the comments, all kind of stuff where does the Department of Justice care? I doubt they care, but you can still complain for your case, not for mine. But, or if you want to complain in my case, you can. But I mean, the fact that there are unregistered foreign agents acting on the public should be of concern to you and should be of concern to the Department of Justice. It's not, but it should be. But you can still complain. And then you can at least say that you didn't do nothing, as opposed to some people that just shrug and, yeah, that's just the way it is. You know, some things will never change. Incorrect. Things are changing, and we've got great things coming. I believe that there are going to be mass arrests coming up in the near future, if they haven't already occurred. So, because I mean, crazy things are happening with Brandon and other stuff. I mean, deep fake, don't know. Rubber mask, don't know. Is that them? Don't know. All I can say is I watch the news once in a while with my mouth hanging open going, what? I'm sure you do the same. So what's actually happening? Don't know. What's going to happen? Pretty confident that people are going to be held to account and things are going to change. Before we get any kind of great, awesome tech, I want my flying car, damn it. It's 2022. I want my flying car. But before we get any of that, there's got to be mass arrests, and we got to throw down these demons, these blood drinking idiots. Oh, and this is the other thing. I go back to my account. I haven't been on this for quite a while. The only videos that I got warnings for and were removed were about traffic, and people have figured out that that's not a joke anymore. And it used to be, oh, that's just crazy talk. Now I talk to people, and they realize that they were naive, just like me. And it never ends. Like, your consciousness will continue to expand. Turns out they don't have oaths. Turns out they don't have foreign agent registration statements. Turns out they don't have anti-bribery statements. That my consciousness has expanded. What else is out there that's fake, phony, and false? As X22 report guy would say. But I mean, there's plenty of stuff that's fake, phony, and false. And they've been getting away with it on presumption. Getting away with it by you signing your signature, getting away with it because contract law supersedes all other law. Custom supersedes everything. So the common law isn't written down because it's supposed to be self-evident. And the fact that we are all created equal doesn't mean that we're not talking about the flesh. We're talking about the thing that animates the flesh. That's the creation of God. That's the spark of life. That's the little pinpoint of consciousness that runs this huge, well, compared to the pinpoint, system that is your musculoskeletal meat suit has this, and see, extending from your fingers and your body, there is an energy field, and it goes down your nervous system, and that skeletal nervous system is an amazing thing. And it is a receiver, but it's also a sender, as it turns out. As one guy was saying, you have this cell phone, and all you do with this cell phone, it's a super duper smartphone that can do a bajillion more things than the bestest smartphone we have now. And all you do is receive calls once in a while. You never use it to send calls. You never use it to process or do other cool stuff. All you do is once in a while receive calls, right? You get a hit in the field, as we say. But I figured out that, yeah, you can, it is a two-way street. Where the other street goes, I don't know. But like I said, while I was in jail, some of the things that happened from just me putting my hands on people, unexplainable, and that's just one of the things, healing and so forth. That's just one of the things that you can do. When we're waking up, the consciousness is waking up. You should be able to do some self-healing also. This meat suit wants to be 100% functional, and it's up here 90% of the time. The Christ tells you that you screw up your meat suit. It's the thoughts, and a lot of people have figured out that there can be healing that way. Okay, now for sure, I'm done. And like I said, I'll probably try to make a couple more this weekend, and we'll see what happens. My next date is supposed to be the 8th, and we'll see what happens on the 8th. They may arrest me, and then I'll have to write a writ of habeas corpus, and I'm going to put a video about that in there, because if they don't have, they're violating my rights and simulating process. They don't have the judicial power. That judge arresting me is basically unconstitutional. And all I did was ask whether they were a court of public record. And apparently he couldn't tell that a man had appeared in his courtroom, right? Because they can't see you. They can't hear you technically, because all they want is the corporate fiction. Anyhow, I'll put more videos. I'll make more videos, try to explain this nonsense, the system that they've made. If you can hit the like button, that helps a lot. I already got 14 likes and only 5 people watching. So again, I know people come and go. I watch my analytics. Great. Come back, put it on 2 times speed or 1.5 times speed, so it doesn't take you an hour and 40 minutes to get through it. You can get through it in, like, if you do 2 times speed, what would that be? That would be basically 50 minutes that you'd get through this, not even an hour. So I don't speak that fast, I don't think, or that quickly. So I assume that you could do 2 times speed and understand it. But if not, at least 1 time, 1.5 or 1 3/4, and go through, take some notes, watch the links, look for more comments. As you know, go back to the other video. I put a lot more links in there and put some comments in there that you may be interested in seeing. The 12 presumptions are there, etc. I'll put them here too. But go back to the videos once I make them, and I try to make them more valuable by putting more information in there and more links, because it makes me crazy when people talk about this and that video, and then you got to search for it or try to figure it out when they could just as easily cut and paste a link into the description or into one of the comments. So anyway, be looking for that. And if you have put comments below or over here, things that you want me to talk about, or subjects that need expounding, or things that I didn't make clear, put those in the comments also. Otherwise, e pluribus unum, Crime Stoppers. Educate yourself, educate others. Great things are coming, I'm telling you. You just got to get through this. So I hope you put up food. I hope you put up silver. And that's about to blow. I mean, like, I feel like it's weeks away, not years and so forth. Water is going to be important. So ways to purify water. Don't be dependent on the grid. Like I said, take a weekend. This is Labor Day weekend coming up. Pretend like you ain't got power, right? Turn off the breakers on your house. Can you make it through a weekend? Now figure out what you need. And, camp in your house and see, because that may be a reality. As you can see, what's going on with Russia and Europe and so on. And, that's the thing. When Europe goes down, 2 weeks later, we go down. So that was Lindsey Williams from way back in the day. We should be a net exporter of energy, but we're not. And the people in the northeast of this country are going to have one hell of a hard winter coming up. So again, I hope you put up food and fuel and water and because not for total Armageddon, going into complete chaos in Mad Max world, but just for, winter and weather situations where many people, even you've seen all the flooding that's been taking place, where people are without electricity and power in Tennessee and Kentucky and other places. Lots of, just natural disasters. It's good to be prepared. Get yourself a life straw. So any water, you can drink it. I have a couple of those life straws just in case. I hope you put up some freeze-dried food. Hope you put up, like I said, silver. And then also cash, because I think they're going to have a hard time getting cash out of the bank. So if you've got a huge amount of cash in the bank, you might want to take it out and convert it into metal, or even just paper, because things are coming where that may be the case. And it was crazy talk, but I hope you realize that it's not crazy talk anymore. I'm just telling you what it looks like is coming our way. All right. Didn't I just sign off? All right. I'm signing off. I'll talk to you guys later. Like I said, e pluribus unum, educate yourself, educate others, take this information, share it with others, learn and look up the sites for yourself, read your state constitutions, hugely important, and figure out what the hell's going on in that system that we call the courts, and hold those who are wrongdoers to account. Okay, talk to you later.